Thank you for watching this video. To best support the channel, please take a moment and click the subscribe button. Also, the links to purchase this fly and the materials to tie the fly are in the description. Welcome back to another fly tying video. Today we're going to tie up a prototype fly and we're going to have some fun. Hopefully we learn a couple things together and we have a good time. In the vise we have a Moonlit Tagata ML521 hook. It's a 1x strong, 3x long, and 90-degree jig eye hook that's barbless. And we're going to use some Semperfli Classic Wax thread in 6/0 and the color is red. We're going to start by doing some crossing wraps and some over-under wraps on these lead dumbbell eyes to get them locked into place. Pull things tight, and let's just really focus on getting this locked in there. Where this is a prototype, I'm not terribly worried about it, but if this was a fly that was going to be sold in the shop, I would absolutely add some super glue right here to increase the durability. And from here, what we're going to do is we're going to grab a marabou feather, and we're going to get ready and tie that in so it's one hook length in length. Let's take our thread back to the back of the hook. Remeasure to make sure we have the right length. And tie that in nice and tight. I'm going to try and keep the marabou feather on top of the hook just to keep the body a little bit more uniform. And things are sliding around a little bit, so I should have done an extra couple of thread wraps back at the tie-in point and lock that in a little bit better. So we'll trim out our marabou feather, and we're just going to go through and clean up our body a little bit, make sure things stay in place, spin things back to the top of the hook so they don't slide around. There we go. Nice and tightly tied in. Now we're going to grab a couple strands of flash, and we're going to do something fun here to make it so that we keep things on the side. We're going to go under our dumbbell eyes and pinch the flash to the sides. That allows us to keep the flash where we want it and make it so that it's a uniform tie-in line. Then we'll grab our thread again and just do some quick wraps all the way up this flash to fully lock it into place. Then we'll go ahead, we'll take our thread back to our tail, and then we'll cut out this flash. We're going to make the flash just a little bit longer than our marabou tail. From here, we're going to grab a pipe cleaner, and it's a bright orange and yellow pipe cleaner. And we're going to tie that in with the end butting up against the eyes just to, once again, keep that body as uniform as we can. And we're going to really work on locking this down. Once we're all the way tied in, we're going to go ahead and just advance our thread forward to right behind the eye so we can start wrapping this pipe cleaner forward. And we're going to advance that about, well, right between 1/2 and 2/3 the way up the shank of the hook to the eyes from the tail tie-in point. And then we're going to go ahead and grab some rubber legs. These are orange and black rubber legs, and we're going to wrap them around our dumbbell eyes. And that way they go completely parallel to the hook, right down the back side of the hook. Then we'll rotate our fly so we can see the other side and repeat the process. So wrap around that eye, and have it go down the side, and then just lock those in and go all the way back to where our pipe cleaner is. That way we can have our legs coming out at basically the same point on both sides. Then advance our thread back forward, and we're going to take our pipe cleaner, pull our legs back to make sure they don't get trapped, and wrap our pipe cleaner all the way up to right behind these dumbbell eyes. Make sure everything's out of the way. Then we're going to do a catching wrap right beneath and behind the eyes to pull the pipe cleaner tight so we can trim it out. Do a handful of wraps to secure that into place. And we'll grab our scissors and cut that pipe cleaner out. We're going to make sure everything's looking nice and happy. And then we're going to go ahead and should we throw some marabou on there? Let's see what it looks like. make a marabou underwing or wing on this fly. Set that on top, make it so it covers up right to the hook point. And catch that marabou fiber on the what is now the top side of the fly. That's not really doing what we want it to do. So we're going to pull that out, unwind our thread a little bit. Make sure not to go too far or you'll release the pipe cleaner we tied in. Instead of doing that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to build out a dubbing head instead of using marabou for a wing there. So we're going to go ahead and get our thread right behind those eyes again. And we're going to take some Fly Tire Dungeon dubbing that's a bright goldfish color. And we're going to go ahead and lay that in and pinch it into place. And the color on this dubbing is it's Kraken enhanced and it's a hot orange color. So we have that in place. Our dubbing's going all the way back to basically a little bit beyond the tail point. Then we'll go ahead and flip our fly over, throw another wrap that measures about the same length on the back of that fly, lock everything into place, preen things back. Excuse me. And we're just trying to lock this into place to kind of build up a bulky profile head on this jig fly. Now we'll advance our thread to in front of the dumbbell eyes, and we'll grab another clump of dubbing and tie that in. There we go, now we can tie that in. And keep in mind, this is a prototype. This is the first time I've done this fly. It's all a bunch of experimenting. See where we're at. Leave that dubbing split open so we can do some wraps on the top side to not build up too much bulk. So see me go right down the middle of where that tying point was again. Let's go ahead and grab one more big clump of dubbing. Or straighten those fibers out a little bit. And then I'll go ahead and place that clump of dubbing right on top of the hook. And we're trying to stay right in that same groove that we used before. Preen those fibers back. And jump our thread forward out of our dubbing. And build up a small little head. Preen the fibers back, keep pulling them back. And again, this fly isn't perfect. It's a prototype. I want to see what it can do in front of some pond bass. I want to see how it swims. And see how that pipe cleaner holds up. If it doesn't hold up well, definitely can find some variegated chenille. Or use some of this dubbing and blend some colors together to get the similar bright orange and yellow body. So let's go ahead and take our thread. We'll whip finish right there on the nose of this, right on the corner of this 90-degree jig. Wrap our thread in, pull it tight. Now we can go ahead and grab our scissors. Preen things back. I like where things are at. Now I gotta find where I hid my super glue. Give me 1 second to find that. Pull everything back and tight. And take the super glue that I just found. Get a dot in there. Make sure that it gets those thread wraps hit. Pull things back. And this is the finished prototype fly. It's kind of crazy, kind of messy, but for some reason I think it'll get the attention in some murky water, especially where people leave some goldfish. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a comment, drop a like, and please subscribe.